Okay, good evening. I'm Dr. Dhebjani Banerjee, and I have completed my direct doctorate in French from Jawaharlal Nehru University 20 years ago. At present, I am a faculty in French at SRM Institute of Science and Technology, Ramapuram, Chennai. This is my first experience of taking the NPTEL examinations. Now, I would certainly like to very frankly state that I'm here because the university mandates it that every faculty takes one course at least per semester or two annually. So, me having joined in March, I enrolled for two courses. So, yesterday I sat for the course which was Introduction to Research, the exam which I had in another center in Chennai. And today I'm here for German 1 exam. Now, being a passionate language learner, I teach, speak French, German, Italian, Spanish, and basic Dutch. I'll just put my point of view on the two courses, the plus, the minus, and how it helps my students maybe in the future. So, number one, the first course, which is Introduction to Research, I thought for a time, minimum time of 1.5 hours, only 15 questions, 50 questions, sorry, was rather brief. Maybe they could give a little more so that the course is taken a little more seriously because the course content, the assignments were very well made. Now, coming to my realm of interest, which is language. So, for the German one, whereas we are 150 questions, very different from what I attended yesterday. So what happens? I think they need to strike a balance maybe. Secondly, the assignments are really well made and well assessed with a deadline, and we have non-stop notifications which help us amidst our really busy schedule. Sometimes we forget. But I would say for German 1, which I took the exam, especially the translation part into into English and from English to German do not figure in the assignment, but they figure in the exam. So that is not something a learner of that language would be capable of doing by learning the NPTEL. That might be a drawback. And one more thing I would say is because I've taken international certification for all these languages over so many years, last 3, 4 decades, and I have studied in a French medium from my childhood, so French is like my mother tongue. I would say the listening components in the exam, we should be limited to being should hear it only twice. Because at the international exam, when we go, let's say for German for a Goethe Institute or French for a DELF exam, which is by the French government, we don't get the option of hearing again and again. So these students who come and take this, they will know that when they go through the next step after the end, like when I am teaching French, but sadly, I would like to also request you to please come up with a French NPTEL because I didn't see that, sadly. So I went on to join the German one. So for any language, if we limit the listening to twice, it would help the child to take the NPTEL, and that would help them then to go for that particular country-based lifetime certification as well. What will happen is they will say, ma'am, see here we heard 5 times, but there we failed because we couldn't hear. So we can connect it. That's what my thing is. Learning is very good. Sometimes the videos, we don't get the time to really go through the video. Or maybe if you stop giving the transcript, we are forced to see the video. I can say, in, the other way. See, but I think scientific research says that when we listen and we see something, our brain records much more than when we just read it. So, but what happens because of lack of time or the video, maybe they can't hear it everywhere, maybe at the university, people just go, just read it. But sometimes there are things which experts are saying when you see in these various videos, they're superbly made, which are maybe missed out. You see the way, the intonation, especially for language, I would say, because that's what I've, my last 4 decades I've been doing that. Hmm. Exactly. You see, especially, let's say today I work with SRM. Yes. So today when I, exactly. So today when I work at SRM, you see engineering today, like if you see our Indian mentality is still with engineering and medical, although there are so many things that have come up, frankly, we must admit. And the first destination for engineering, even today, if you go and have a survey in any of the engineering colleges, is Germany. Because look at the top brands, be it the cars, be it the equipments, be it, anything. The technology is still Germans are very good at it. So many of our students want to go to Germany for their masters or higher studies. So that time the German certification will help them. It might not be mandatory, but it could be very useful when they're selected. Let's say somebody goes for a Bosch interview. If they already know a bit of German, the company might favor them or might even post them in such countries. Yes. Yes. Exactly. So, in fact, we have, being at the university, we have many private organizations or institutes which come and keep doing their propaganda. But if the NPTL ties up and just sends their representative to the various universities, like yesterday, I was so glad I met a bunch of students when I was coming back. Yesterday, my interview was GKM college. So, when I was coming back, I met a bunch of kids from SRM Ramapuram, and they had come for BDA, big data analysis. I was so glad because the faculty had informed them. So if the NPTL has a small, I don't know, a representative or something, and the students are aware, because if they finish the course and then they don't have the time to devote because they're running for campus selection and this and that, especially in the first and second year of the 4-year BTech programs, which is prevalent, especially in Chennai. If you look at, can't even count the number of engineering and technology based colleges. So I would request the NPTL team, because you have such a nationwide network, it's not difficult. If you come and do a, they don't know. So if you just come and tell them, like today when I did it, like I'm saying, French is the number one taught foreign language in India. We don't have a course on French. No, you have the Goethe Institute, you know. Exactly, like I will say it, but I don't teach German. So if you go and you go to the universities where these, like, see, we have, surely that's what we are going to do. Yes. That's why I'm even pointing out that the hearing should be only twice, so that we can tell the students, see, this is on a similar pattern. These are the components. Only maybe the speaking part is missing. So I don't know if by a miracle for language you can add even a speaking component. Maybe the assessment would be very difficult. Maybe because you have got lakhs and lakhs of students. When you compare with a Max Miller or Alliance Francaise, your number is like multiple, like exponential. I can understand. So if even I don't know, if in the assignments you can have at least an assessment of the speaking, because when you go for international certification for any of the languages today, speaking for these European languages is must, because I myself have done for Spanish, Italian, French and German. Speaking is a component. It's almost equal weighted generally, be it a Delft or a Goethe Institute. Okay. Anyway, I'll try to compliment all of it. It's wonderful. Thank you so much.